I want you to pay careful attention to what I'm going to say, because I'm going to show you 5 different things, and then I'm going to explain to you what is the deal with the gold and the silver. If you watch YouTube channels especially, you will hear people making, sometimes it sounds very outlandish in their predictions of the price of silver, where it will eventually go, the price of gold, where it will eventually go, and then you'll see gold go up, and then it will level off, and people will sell off, etc. But let me just give you an introduction. First of all, when it comes to currency, in the older days, and we go back to the time of Abraham, gold and silver existed, except it existed in the form of nuggets. And the weight was weights in what is called shekels. So a shekel was not a coin in Abraham's day, for example, or even Moses' time. It was a measure of a weight. So when you understand the significance that before there was ever paper or fiat money of any kind, or coinage made out of nickel or copper or zinc, then there was always gold and silver. Gold and silver has always fluctuated, but it was always used in the old times, back we would say really for thousands of years, as a method of bartering. You would buy land, you would give so much gold and silver for the land. So it was what people call real money. Now it does have an intrinsic value. I'll get that word out in a minute. Now, let me give you an example of something. There's basically 2 types of people, and I'm saying basic, there's more than 2, that deal with coins made out of gold or silver. There are collectors. There are people that collect old coins, and they do so as a hobby of something they do in their life, and they leave them for their children or whatever the case may be. So there are collectors. Then there are investors. There are people who invest in it as a security against the fall or collapse of fiat currency, or they invest in it as a tool of possible bartering in the near future. Now, at the end of this, I'm going to talk about a scripture from the book of James that tells you about the end of days as it relates to the gold and the metals, we would say. All right, let me give you a lesson, because I have collected coins since I was 7 years old. Now about 65 years of age. Of course, some of you will watch this, and I'll be much older than that if the Lord tarries, if you watch this down the road. But I'm going to show you the different types. First of all, for collectors, this is called a slabbed coin. This is an 86 West Liberty gold $5 70 Ultra Cameo. That means it's a perfect coin. It's flawless. It has the highest grade possible. And people who buy graded coins will look at that, and if the number goes to 70, it's the best. 69 is a little less, 68 is a little less, and so on and so forth. Now, the reason people slab a coin is to protect it. And also, a lot of collectors, these slabs stack on one another, and it's easy to store. It doesn't get lost. You know where it is. But one of the reasons they do is to protect. If you keep a coin out loose in a box or something, it can get scratched. And for someone who wants it not for the gold or silver value, but wants it for a collector, if a collector wants it, they want a perfect coin. That's what they're after. So that's why you see some coins in slabs. Some people like slabs, some people don't. I think it's a preference type of thing. Now, when it comes to gold coins, I'm going to show you 3 different kinds. The first are the ancient kinds. This is a actual coin of a Roman emperor, and I think it's Augustus. I have a hard time reading it. So, you know, this is what is called a gold coin from the time of a Roman emperor. Now, these are coins that you don't spend. These are coins for collectors, and people are beginning to collect coins from the Holy Land, greater now than they ever have before, and the premiums have really gone up. They sell them in auctions. I will tell you, I would be very careful trying to buy one of these just on eBay or on the internet, unless it has a provenance with it, unless maybe it's absolutely guaranteed in provenance, because these can be faked pretty easy. And so, but this is called, this is old Roman coin, Greek Roman coins, and they are out there. Secondly, it's called numismatic coin. A numismatic coin is an older coin that this is dated 1915, and this is a gold Indian head. Now, these were in the pockets of people in the United States years ago. And of course, during the Roosevelt administration, he had a gold recall of all gold coins, and that's how it got out of the hands of the investors. And a lot of gold and silver was melted at that time. So that is called a numismatic coin. That's an old coin. So collectors collect that not as bartering, they collect it for historical value, etc. And some of those are worth quite a bit. Now, this here is it's in a little case. This is a Canadian maple leaf, $50 maple leaf, and this is an actual gold coin. Now, by face value, it's $50, but not in gold value. Gold value, it's a 1 ounce gold maple, and they could sell low $1,900. They could sell highs. I've seen them go to $2,600 when the rush came on for gold. And so these are pretty much pure gold, and it's very collectible. It's a very beautiful coin, by the way. The Canadian coins are some of the most beautiful coins. It has a great shine to it. So this is one that people, for example, buy to hold on to either sell later if it goes high, or to hold on to for bartering. Now, someone said, what in the world is bartering? I'll give you an example. Let's say there's a real economic crisis and you have some of these coins, but your car breaks down. Well, the car dealer, money's gone crazy and everything, but you go to the car dealer and you say, look, this coin is valued at XXX. Now, you've told me that it would cost you so-and-so to fix this. I'll trade you this for working on my car. And anyone in their right mind that would know the value of it at that time would say, that's a deal. And that's the idea of bartering. You know, people say, I've got coffee beans, do you have sugar? And they did this quite a bit during the Great Depression, not so much with the coins, but with food. Then you have silver. Now, silver prices are all over the board. I can remember when you could buy these type of coins, American Eagle gold coins in 1999 for $230 a coin. And now they're over $2,000 a coin, all right? And so you don't want to buy high and then lose when it drops. You know, you want to always try to buy low. Anybody knows that does investments and so on and so forth. You know, buy low, sell high. Now the other, and these are very popular. This is the most popular silver dollar that was ever minted in the United States. And there's a gentleman in Cleveland that sells these. And I got this a couple years back. This is an 1885 Morgan silver dollar, and it is just, actually it's worth a lot more than the price that's on it. And that is silver. Now, these type of coins, you don't want to go and spend them, because if you look at a silver dollar, its face value, like an American silver dollar, is $1. $1 is printed on there. So that's the face value. Like you could go in a store and say, that's $4, here's 5 silver, but you'd be crazy, because the value of it in silver may be $25 a coin. So once again, people take these type of coins and hold them in collections. They do not spend them, but they take the American Eagle silver coins and they collect those. Sometimes they're in a tube of 20, sometimes a tube of 35, etc. And a lot of people do that because silver is much cheaper than gold. I mean, a silver coin may be, and I'm going by, these numbers are flexible. They change all the time. You know, you used to be able to get it for $8 a coin, then it was 15, then it was 20, then it was 25. And a premium is what the seller adds to it at a coin shop to make money. The coin itself may be, with the price of silver, $25, but he may sell it for $29 or $30, which is a $4 or $5 premium for his store, which is understandable. So there is a rush at this point with all the discussions of cryptocurrency, doing away with cash. Many people are taking some of their cash and they're putting it into different types of metals. And personally, I think if a person's able to do that on a minimal level without going crazy about it, that's a fine thing to do. That's an okay thing to do, because you want to follow people that have experience and wisdom in dealing with these type of things. Don't just listen to everybody that's on the internet. Trust me, there are some people giving bad advice on the internet. So just be very careful. If you are selling a coin, don't just take the first offer that a dealer offers you. Search around and find out what is that coin selling for in other places. And there are people that will be honest enough to give you what a coin is worth if, for example, you want to turn the metal into some type of cash. Now, in the book of James, and I'm going to kind of quote this to you, but the book of James indicates that there would be a time in the last days when God would judge businesses for mistreating their people. They have kept back their salaries, they have kept back their pay, and therefore God is displeased. And God says to those business leaders, your gold and silver is cankered, and that means it has a cancer on it. And even the Old Testament, when Israel was about to go into captivity, they warned them, your gold and silver is not going to save you from going into captivity. You're going to throw it in the streets because it's not going to have any value to it. Now, these things today have great value for collectors and also for investors and for people who want to use them maybe down the road for bartering, if that comes to that. I don't have a revelation on if it's going to come to that or not. And I don't tell people to go do things if I don't have a revelation. Number two, I never advise people financially. So you could call and say, Parody, what do you think I should do? I say, you have to pray about it. Everybody's different. Everybody's completely different, okay? And I know people that are against investing in this, and they're against buying it, and they're into some kind of crypto, but don't follow everybody's advice. Do your own research with everything that's out there, because it's going to get crazy in the days ahead, especially when the wars, the rumors of wars, the earthquakes, the natural disasters, it's going to get totally crazy in the future. So basically, in your life and my life, we need a shelter that has heat and air in the summer, heat in the winter, somehow to keep your family warm, keep them sheltered, keep protected. You need water, clean water, you need food to eat, and you need clothes to wear. If you have those four things, you're doing well, because a lot of the world does not have those four things in their villages or in their little tiny communities, and they lack clean water, or they lack the ability to get food. So those are the basic things that you need. And so in the end, in the time of tribulation, at the time of the end, there's going to be a complete shifting in all economy, the mark of the beast system. It's just going to be a time of, Jesus said, a time of trouble such there was not a nation nor ever shall be. Daniel mentioned that in Daniel chapter 12. And so until that point arrives, until the world arrives at that point, these are things. And I will also tell you, sometimes people contact me and they say, we have a major coin collection. What should I do? First of all, be careful going into an antique store with a coin collection, because there are people that won't give you the money that it's worth. You have to go to reputable dealers. But the thing is, don't do your research. Do your research. Know the value. Know if it's graded. Know the quality. Know a little bit about it before you ever go to sell. If your grandfather leaves you a collection, or your grandmother leaves you a collection, or you find things like this, be sure and do your personal homework. There's information out there before you go and try to sell it, because I would never want anybody, especially, one woman lost her husband, took a Rolex watch to a real one of gold, 18 karat gold, to a place here in town at a hotel where this guy was buying gold. He said, well, this is worth about $500. And a guy who was my neighbor heard it, said, ma'am, come with me, take your watch and come with me. He said, that man is lying to you. That's a Rolex. That Rolex is worth $8,000 at least, just with the gold and everything that's in it. And so try to find an honest person if you live in the area. If you got to drive somewhere and find an honest person, check out their reputation. That will treat you right and do the right thing. I will tell you in closing that the greatest thing you can do is not have stuff, but to have faith in God. Because Jesus said, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on the earth? So you need to have faith and trust in the Lord. You need to know your relationship is right with him. Here's the reason why. Faith and prayer can get you what nothing else can. Faith and prayer can get you favor that nothing else can. So as someone who is in the Word, that studies the Word, I happen to know that, okay, all this is great to have as backups or to be able to use yourself, but faith in God and listening to him and obeying his voice, that is where the real blessing comes from. And so just so you'll know, the Lord is going to do things in these last days that are incredible. A lot of ministries, including ours, are trying to branch out and trying to get on TV in new places and start a major children's outreach that we need desperately, with coloring books and DVDs and videos, because we're letting the world educate our kids, and we need to do that in the body of Christ. A lot of outreaches are going. So we want to say to the ministry partners, thank you for your prayers and thank you for your support. And we want to bless you and want to say, keep watching, because we have something special at the end. And give us a thumbs up if you enjoy the teaching. Thank you.
Does prophetic symbolism of beasts and horns confuse you? Do you question what is coming and how it impacts you? Perry's prophetic offer is a detailed teaching from the apocalyptic book of Daniel, Unsealing the Daniel Cipher, a 2-DVD, 4-hour prophetic series using maps, charts, graphics, and props, with numerous scriptures to illustrate this urgent right now teaching. Many of your complicated questions will be answered after viewing this series. Perry unlocks the concealed cipher in the book of Daniel, linking it with the book of Revelation. Perry explains Daniel and Nebuchadnezzar's visions and dreams, which revealed the future. He will detail the Antichrist symbolism, his headquarters, and formation of a final kingdom. Perry also explains which nations will eventually fall and how frightened citizens will flee their country. He will list and expound upon numerous individual plots and plans of the future beast system. Learn the nations that will suffer the most when Daniel's visions are unsealed on the earth. Discover the identity of the 10 horns and the nations that unite as a dangerous force at the time of the end. Receive new understanding as Perry explains the meaning of specific Aramaic and Hebrew words. See how the West and East will be divided and how Islam and Christianity come into play. Understand how the Antichrist will arise from one of 4 nations as described in Daniel's vision. Perry explains the dream of the tree stump, which most ministers seldom teach. Discover these insights and so much more. This teaching is a spiritual investment into life-changing knowledge. The offer 2DV101 is available for a donation of $30 or more, which helps keep Manifest coming to you each week. Order now by calling 1-888-21-BREAD. That's 1-888-212-7323. Or go online to perrystone.org. You can also order the 2-DVD set by writing and sending a check to Perry Stone Ministries, P.O. Box 3595, Cleveland, Tennessee 37320. This entire teaching is also available as video on demand by visiting our website. We look forward to hearing from you today.
If you enjoyed this YouTube content, there's an important website you should know about: perrystone.org. Perrystone.org is an essential resource for the latest books, audiovisual presentations, and digital products from Perry Stone Ministries, resources that cover the same kinds of topics discussed in the program you just watched. Stop in and see all that's available at perrystone.org.